思ったんですよ。自分で要点をまとめてアピールするより、公式動画を和訳した方が魅力伝わるんじゃないかって。なので、自分の作った動画の存在価値を否定する説を検証していきましょう。
Are you looking to get into Albion Online? Or perhaps you've already completed the tutorial and now wonder what your next step should be? Well, this video is for you. In Albion, you will explore a massive open world, fight your way through dungeons, gather resources, farm, craft, and engage in solo, small-scale, or massive battles with other players, all while developing your character the way you want. But before you're able to do all that, you have to complete the tutorial. It will guide you through the very basics of the game. Once the tutorial is completed, you will land in a starter town, where Albion will completely open up to you. Albion Online is a sandbox game, which means you may go wherever and do whatever you wish. This can be a bit overwhelming at first, but you'll get the hang of it pretty quickly. Your primary goal in the beginning is to gain fame. Fame functions like experience points, which will help you unlock more gear, and through gear, you gain access to more abilities. Combat fame is earned by defeating mobs. You can see your progress by opening the Destiny board and then selecting the skill you are developing. Immediately upon completing the tutorial, you can visit the Expedition Master near the center of any starting town. You can't miss the big glowing blue portal. Expeditions offer a convenient way to access a quick challenge and plenty of combat fame. You can also earn an extra reward for the first expedition you complete each day. If you're ready for a greater challenge, seek out a random solo dungeon in the wilderness. Completing a tier 3 dungeon is within your reach, and you will earn more silver and loot than you would from an expedition. After completing just 1 or 2 dungeons or expeditions, you'll unlock tier 3 or even tier 4 weapons and armor. Plus, you'll have some silver to spend to equip yourself in new gear. You'll also reach Journeyman Adventurer, which lets you equip riding horses and transport oxen. Go to the market and search for the type of equipment or mount you want, and use the filter system to narrow things down. If you're interested in gathering resources for fun and profit, buy a bag and some tier 2 gathering tools from the market, and head out into the surrounding wilderness. Albion has 5 biomes. Depending on the type of biome you're in, you can expect to find the following resources. Forests are the best place for finding wood. If you want to mine ore, head for the mountains. Swamps have more fiber to gather than any other biome. Steppes are teeming with hide animals. And the largest deposit of stone can be found in the highlands. Each biome also has 2 other types of resources, though in much smaller quantities. The resources you've gathered can be refined into materials, which are then used to craft weapons and armor. But don't get sidetracked trying to craft your own gear. Unless you enjoy gathering and crafting, simply buy your gear from the marketplace. Let other players do the hard work for you, in exchange for silver. Joining a guild is an important step in your Albion Online journey. This will give you friends and allies, or perhaps even access to a guild island or hideouts in the wilderness. Open the guild finder, then choose the language of the guild you are looking for and browse the recommendations. Or click or tap the guild filter tab and search based on specific details. Once you got some tier 4 weapons and armor equipped, locate your nearest major city on the world map. That may be Bridgewatch, Fort Sterling, Limhurst, Martlock, or Thetford. Make your way to the city to begin the next chapter of your adventure. But first, Albion Online features player versus player combat. Depending on the zone you're in, PvP can result in knockdowns or in death. In lethal PvP, players who are killed lose all their items. But don't worry, with a little knowledge you can avoid losing your items, or avoid PvP combat entirely. Check the color of the zone on the world map or minimap. The colored icon next to the zone name indicates the consequences of PvP combat. Here's what you need to know. In blue zones, you cannot be killed or looted. In yellow zones, you can be attacked by other players, but not killed or looted. You only get knocked down. In PvP zones, colored in red or black, you can be killed and lose the items you're carrying, or kill your enemies and take their loot. And keep in mind, you will never lose your hard-earned silver or gold if killed or knocked down by players or monsters. If you want to attack other players, click or tap the blue button next to your avatar to flag yourself as hostile. You can now attack other players, but beware, when you are hostile, you can be attacked by anyone. Here are some tips on how to survive in PvP situations. A red or orange name tag indicates a hostile player. Keep an eye on the edges of your screen and watch for incoming hostiles. If you're on foot, stay near your mount at all times and be ready for a quick escape. Avoid carrying too much weight. Carrying too many items can slow you down, which means enemies have an easier time of catching up. Speed is key to survival. Make sure to select abilities, especially on your boots, that allow you to escape the quickest. In red zones, you can see how many hostile players are currently in your zone by checking the minimap. If the number is extremely high, it might be best to get out of there. The minimap also shows large groups of players as colored circles. Avoid these unless you're looking for a fight. A skull on the minimap indicates a player has recently been killed there. If you want to avoid a fight, keep away from these areas. If you're attacked, fighting back will prevent you from leaving the zone until your character is out of combat mode. It may be safer not to fight back so you can escape quicker. And finally, the tip every Albion player lives by. Don't go into PvP zones with items you cannot afford to lose. Establishing yourself in one of the 5 cities is a good starting point. You will have immediate access to a variety of content and opportunities. Enlist in your city's faction and fight in an ongoing war against the other royal cities and earn valuable rewards. Fight in the arena or the crystal arena with no risk of item loss, or when you're ready, join the prestigious Full Loot Crystal League. Learn a trade skill, refine raw materials, or craft powerful weapons and armor to strengthen your guild or line your pockets at the marketplace. Become a transport merchant and move valuable items to more profitable destinations. Buy a player island of your very own where you can build houses, farm crops, and raise animals. Venture outside the safety of the city's walls into the open world and take on increasingly difficult dungeons alone or with friends. Gather natural resources in the wilderness to supply crafters across Albion. Catch a variety of fish in rivers, lakes, and oceans of the world. Experiment with a vast selection of weapons, armor, and equipment. Remember, there are no classes in Albion Online. You can freely combine gear to find your ideal build. Battle through corrupted dungeons and hellgates for a combination of PvE and PvP content. Make your way into the mists and discover mythical creatures in the lost city of Brazilian. Eventually, you may even decide to explore the roads of Avalon, or the massive continent to the north, the Outlands. Here, you'll face the utmost risk, and with risk comes great reward. Make a name for yourself and your guild by completing in guild seasons, conquering territories and castles. Ready to get started? Get out there and begin exploring the world, making friends and overcoming your foes. Build up your character by earning fame and riches. In Albion Online, you get to choose where your adventure takes you. Enjoy your journey.
皆さんどうでしたか？参考になったら運営様が幸いです。最初に言った説の検証結果としてはこんな感じ。多分11ですが、私は自己満で動画を作っているので編集の楽しさの方が大事です。よって説立証ならずでした。自分で内容を考えた方がいいとわかりましたが、自分でやりたくもないこと撮影するのは嫌なので、結局公式様の動画はこれからも使わせてもらいます。何も変わってねえじゃねえか。ってことは、ここまで編集した意味ないってこと？